welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of January 25th. I forgot what month it was. 2026. My name is Steven Dominguez, and I'm here with one just happy guy.
I'm Benjamin Daniel Lawless. I'm doing all right. And we're professionals, obviously, as you can tell. Devin isn't here. He's stuck under a bunch of ice, which sounds like the entire nation.
I mean, it sounds like he's about to die, but it's actually the cold water kind of ice, not the bad kind.
Right.
So
yeah. The kinds that's totally fine unless it's not.
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, we're lying a little bit. Yeah, he's in Texas. He's got the ice storm to deal with, but it's because it's his family at his house because of the ice storm. Like people that were visiting and now they're stuck. That kind of deal.
They can't get back home.
They can't. And you know,
because
we told Devin, have him come on the podcast, and he was just like, no. So like, I don't know what to do with this guy anymore.
Right? Why even have a podcast if you're not going to just randomly put family members on it when it is convenient for you?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got here. So
are we family?
Yeah. Now we are.
All right, brother.
6 years of this, I better be family.
Okay. Devin's not here this week, but we are. And man, we've got some video games probably. We've got some comic book. This is all kid. This is teen Steven and teen Ben being cool because we're going to talk about, we're going to show you all the shiny rocks that we like.
Dude, and first shiny rock, Steven, I've got to talk about enclosed.horse.
Okay.
Which is a new it's a new
wait. I want everyone to just take a minute and listen to that title. Enclosed.horse. Imagine what you think this is going to be, because you're about to be proven wrong. Go, Ben.
Yeah. So enclosed.horse has been out for, as we record this, 27 days. And it is a web-based game, like a little puzzle game. You go to the website enclosed.horse and you try to enclose a horse in the biggest possible pen. But so you're enclosing it with walls. And you place the walls by clicking or tapping on it, depending on if you're on. I play it on my phone. I edit it as a home screen web app, so like it opens up as if it's an actual application. But you don't need to do that.
Nobody knows how to do that, but you and like 5 other people.
It's in the share sheet. You're fine. Use the share sheet every once in a while. Poke around. Discover what your phone can do. So the basic gist is you're trying to make sure that this horse has the largest amount of space that it can. But there are certain, there are walls, there's like water features that the horse can't traverse over, and the horse can't move diagonally. It can only move along, orthogonally, left, right, up, down,
just like real horses.
And yeah, just like real horses. And just like in real life, you can have portals that connect distant cells, and the horse can teleport through them.
Horse teleportation technology. We are truly living in the future.
You go through and you go through and you get your biggest enclosure that you can do, and then you click submit, and you only have one chance every day. But what's really nice, you get the chance to submit, and then you find out how well you did. You get a score. You get to find out how large the enclosure was across everybody. I've gotten a couple perfects throughout the day. I'm not not here to brag, but
you're
I'm
perfect, is
kind of
what
a
you're
big
saying.
I'm kind of a big deal around the horse enclosures, if you know what I mean.
That's not something to be proud of.
uh, but then there's also community levels, so you can keep on playing. And
Okay.
yeah, I highly recommend it, Stephen.
I
Like,
mean,
yeah,
what else we got going
I
on?
told your wife about it. She seemed to think it was okay,
Yeah,
or she was just humoring me. I
no,
don't
no,
know.
she in fact was not just humoring you, because a few days later, sitting on the couch, and I look over and I see a horse, and I was like, "You're not my wife." No, I look over and I just
It's
see it.
Mr. Ed.
It's Mr. Ed. And, horse sound, horse sound. I glanced at her phone, and she was looking at the horse dot enclosed dot horse. She was looking at it, and then she did it, and she went, "Ah, I only got this much," and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good." I was like, "You gonna play another one?" And she was like, "Tomorrow," and I went, "Okay," and I haven't seen it since. But it's such a
Wow.
like
Okay.
it takes you, like, you look at it, you pick, and you're done. Like, it's a couple minutes of your day at the most, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I guess it depends. One strategy that I like to use is I'll get the best I think I can get, and then I'll shut it down before submitting. And if you're coming back to it on the same browser, you know when you pick it back up, it's just got your last big guess. You can
Uh-huh.
also reset and then like try out different, because you only have a certain number of walls. Like for today's horse enclosure, you only have 9 walls to put down,
Okay.
and so sometimes there's strategies you can use. There's kind of approaches you can use, and maybe something will work better. But you can also always go back to whatever your highest scored guess that you've already done is. And then,
Okay.
so you can play around with it before you submit it, which is something it took me a couple weeks to figure out
Okay.
before I knew I could do it. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But I mean, yeah, I'm kind of finding myself into a lot of puzzle games lately. Puzzles and puzzle games, jigsaw puzzles, as we've talked about on the show,
Yeah.
you know. But how
Did
about you,
we
Stephen? Are
go
you
ahead?
into games?
I love games. Um, right. I've been going through my RPG era, some people might say. I
Oh,
just keep buying them, just keep playing them, just keep swimming. I picked up Orbital Blues and a bunch of its expansions and whatnots, which is a kind of
yeah.
a
You brought
rules. Go ahead.
the book over. You brought that book over
Uh huh.
a couple of days ago, and it seemed to be very loosely based on kind of the vibes of Cowboy Bebop, which
Exactly. Yes.
yeah, I'm down for.
It's a sad space cowboy role playing game. Yeah. So I've looked at the rules. It's pretty cool. Everyone has like a role in the crew, like they don't, it's not like, oh, it's a big open world, do whatever. Like, no, you're a crew on the edge doing what you can. And there's a bunch of like tropes within the book of like games you could run, like do the heist game, or do a smuggling game, or do a bounty hunting game, or like, game session or whatever. Like, here's all the different things that your crew probably does. And so it is kind of one of those games where before you sit down at the table, you should know what you're getting into, right? It's very specific in that sense. But it seems super cool. It's gotten some, it's a little indie title, and it's gotten a lot of buzz online. Orbital Blues from, am I going to remember? Soul Muppet Publishing, I believe.
That's
Um,
a great name.
it's an
I love
excellent.
it.
If I got that right, it's an excellent name. If I got it wrong,
Yeah.
that's what it should be. Um,
Still an excellent name. I
so
don't, yeah.
the other game that I got is Starborg, which keep listening, just because I said it was a Borg game. So a while back,
Is it like Morkborg?
that's okay. So yes and no. So Morkborg is this crazy role playing game, super rules light, and very heavy on theme and randomness. And that game is like this. doom metal, like Swedish Finnish darkness of a slog through terrible things. And it got really, really popular because the game system itself is really tight. Plus, they put in their copyright laws or whatever that anybody can make a game based on that system as long as they're, attributed. Hey, how do you say that word?
Attributed.
How do you say that word?
But yeah.
How
but
do you say that word?
I would start off with attributed too. Like you're fine.
Yeah, no,
you and I.
There's no
We've
wrong
talked
answers.
about this a lot.
Oh yeah, we're when you're when you're reading
when
stuff,
you're a voracious reader, you don't talk about the things you read. So
the Avengers,
how do you pronounce things?
Are that's a great comic. But before we get to the comics, and we're gonna get to comic books, the other game that I picked up based on the Morkborg is Starborg. And the dude that made it is this role-playing game cartoon artist guy. I came across him on YouTube. He's a big zine guy. He has like
nice.
How to make your own zines and like how to create maps, and like it doesn't have to be hard. You just need a couple of basic skills, and this is what they are. And I want to say his name is Jay. It's I'm gonna look it up real quick. But his comic style, his art style, I think you would really like it. It's JP Coovert, and that's JPCOOVERT. And if you just go to that .com, you'll see he's got all his little things for sale. But he's got like what was it? Goons and Ghosts is one that I've heard of his that's been popular. It looks like a Ghostbusters kind of role-playing game. But this Starborg one, I was looking at the rules and stuff, and it just strips things down to the core of what it is, of like the players are the rebels. Like this isn't a game again where you can just be whatever you want to be. Like, no, you're the rebels, and they call it the Legion, the Galactic Legion, right? The Empire. Like, this is very, very thinly veiled about what this is. You look at the artwork, and he's got this cartoony style, so it's just enough that you're like, could he get sued by Lucasfilm? Probably, but like he's selling. You can get the Rebel Handbook, the GM Guide, and the Solo Rules in a 3-pack for $6 for the PDF, and I believe. So I got the zines, which just stapled zine. That was $30, right, to get that and the PDFs. So
okay,
for $30 to have something in your hand plus a digital version of it, that's not bad at all. And just the digital version, $6. I mean, come on. Anyways, I wanted to give that a little shout out because he's got a lot of cool stuff on his website. I got one of his stickers too. He calls it eyeball sticker, but it's a beholder from D&D. And it looks really neat. It's on my water bottle now. Yeah. So anyways, that was the other RPG I got. But
nice.
What I've been playing this week, I ran another game in my Mutant Crawl Classics game that I run with a friend of the show, Christina's husband, and Christina and a couple other friends, Austin and Rob. All good people. Actually, on our Discord, that we have a Discord channel on somebody's, it doesn't matter, where we coordinate our games. And Greg ended up posting, he's like, this is what I use ChatGPT for, because he's an artist himself, and so we have a lot of artists have a lot of thoughts about ChatGPT. But he was like, he used it to create just really quick images of what all of their characters look like. Because what they made mention of at the table the other day was that they all look absolutely crazy, because this is post-apocalypse. They keep like collecting this weird stuff and just putting it on, and so they all look just like madmen, and it's amazing. Our shaman, whose god is Gaia, which is actually like an AI that lives in the sky that used to control weather satellites. thousands
Of
of years
course.
ago, as you do.
As Gaia, yeah,
Yeah.
that's Gaia
And
right there for you.
and Gaia wants to return the world from its state to how it used to be, and so she picks people, they become shamans, and they have a direct uplink. And every now and then she'll ask one, "Hey, go to this old missile silo or whatever, and there's a weather satellite there, and why don't you make that launch to get for me?" And they call her Mother, and so like that's the mission that they went on. That's like their latest story arc that they're going through the missile silo area right now. They're like halfway through it, give or take. But before they left to go on that mission, I had
Yes.
a special merchant come to their village, and one of the things this merchant was selling was a cybernetic eye. And this
Uh-oh.
Yeah, this cybernetic eye gives you +1 to your initiative rolls and +1 to it was something else. I think like when you're looking for something in a room or something like that. Like if you're searching for something or whatever. So it's like a nice little bonus. But as part of its text was like those were its bonuses. Has its own onboard AI and will automatically attach to any available optic nerve. And that's all it says. So
okay.
there is, and I think I talked about this in the podcast a while ago, but there's precedence that one of our other characters, Greg, came across a cybernetic arm, and they figured out what it was and how it worked, and they were like, "So how do we attach it?" And I was like, "Well, it needs a spot to be attached to," and everyone role played this scene beautifully about him. His character, it's actually a female manimal, fox genotype, so it's like a fox lady, that she asked them to hack off her arm with an axe to attach the cybernetic arm, and they role played this whole thing, and it worked out, and it was great, and I had to make some rolls, and hit points were lost and gained back, and so now they have this cybernetic arm, which like gives a huge bonus to like strength rolls when using that arm. So
Gotcha.
when this group was presented with a cybernetic eye, I was like, "Oh, I know what's going to happen next," and it did, and it was amazing. And my role players are so fun.
Nice.
So now we've got this shaman with a cybernetic eye, and those hats that have the little propellers on them, right? From like
I've got one of those.
I imagine you do. He found one of those, so the shaman's wearing one of those, and then the fox lady has her cybernetic arm and it's a lightsaber, but it's not called a lightsaber. Holding one of those, and they all have these fancy phaser guns and dazer guns and all this nonsense. But wearing
What's
like
a
leather.
dazer gun?
A what?
What's a dazer gun?
A dazer gun is a gun that when you shoot at somebody, you automatically hit, but they have to make a fortitude save, and if they fail the save, then they are frozen in place for, I think, 1d7 minutes. There's you roll a 7-sided die, and it's like that many minutes they're just frozen in place. So like in the middle of combat, you could shoot that at something and it'll just freeze while you deal with other stuff till you can like deal with it, that kind of thing. That's a dazer gun in Mutant Crawl Classics.
Yikes. Okay.
Any other questions?
A lot, but it's fine.
It's a great game. The mazer gun is even better because its description is that no beam comes out of the gun because what it's doing is using microwaves to cook your enemy from the inside out with fire damage. It microwaves you from a distance. So that's the mazer gun. That's a pretty good one.
All right.
So yeah, I ran that game this weekend. That was a ton of fun. And as I was planning for this game, when my mind is on Mutant Crawl Classics, the game right adjacent to it was Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is just the fantasy D&D-esque version of the same game, the same rule systems and all that stuff. You can do crossovers if you wanted, but as I was scrolling through YouTube, I was served a video from Goodman Games, which is the publisher of Dungeon Crawl Classics, Mutant Crawl Classics, saying, "Hey, our Humble Bundle is being extended for an extra 7 days." And I was like, "What Humble Bundle?" Turns out they teamed up with Bob World Builder. Hold on to your trunks on this one. Another YouTuber that does role playing game content.
Okay.
Talks about it, plays and talks about different game systems and that stuff. Really, really cool creator. I really like their videos a lot. But apparently he teamed up with Goodman Games to do this bundle that for a minimum of $40, you could get 99 books, Dungeon Crawl Classics books, PDF versions of them. And then they also threw in like plus a random 4 random adventures that'll get mailed to you that they can't promise what they are, and a discount for other if you wanted to buy other stuff. I'm not going to get that deep into it because by the time this episode airs, it'll be over. Even for the patrons, I think it's probably been too long. Maybe there's a day or two left. I don't know. But that was really cool. So I plopped down $40 and then got all of these books, which one of these days I want to start up a Dungeon Crawl Classics campaign. And so all of these books will just be invaluable at that point. Like there's a really thick core book which has a ton of stuff in it. But what I'm learning is what they like to do, what this company likes to do is when they put out these adventures, typically that are like $10 to $15, you get a PDF version and then you get a paper version that's like a little magazine almost with maybe 20 or 30 pages in it. Within that adventure is a lot of additional content. They'll put in enemies, monsters, creatures, whatever, aliens in those books, which the stats can work, at any time for either game. Like I'm finding stuff like flipping through these PDFs of like, little mushroom monster and a little stat block. And I'm like, oh, I could use a little mushroom monster in Mutant Crawl Classics. Like perfect. Here's another monster that I can use now. Another tool for my toolbox. So, yeah. And then Humble Bundle, of course, they give a percentage. Like you can pay what you want to a minimum. For this one, it was $40. There were other bundles that I think it went all the way down to like $10 and you got like $50 or something like that. And then there was a mid tier and then the $40. Or you can donate as much as you want because the percentage will go to charity. And for this one, it was like the kid gaming one that they do. That Humble Bundle often teams up with like Child's Play, I want to say is what it's called. So yeah, it's nice. You get a good deal on some cool stuff, and then that part of your money is going to be donated to a good cause, and it's good. It's cool stuff.
That's rad. Very cool.
Yeah. Speaking of doing good things, sounds like you tried to do something good for yourself. How did that turn out?
Yeah, dude. So I was on the meditation subreddit earlier this week, and somebody was asking on a thread there, like, hey, I've been using meditation apps for a long time, but I feel like I'm just kind of spinning around the same sort of core concepts. How can I get deeper? And one suggestion was look up your local Sangha. Sangha.
That's a word I had never heard before.
Never heard it either, but I thought, well, that's kind of odd. Let me take a look at it. And sure enough, we have a local Sangha in our little burg, North County of San Luis Obispo, up in Atascadero. We've got a Sangha, which is essentially just a meeting of the Buddhist community. So think of it as Buddhist church, if you will. And the local one we have here takes place at the library, or our local library, at 9 a.m. on Sundays. And so I went there this morning, and it was really nice.
Tell me all about it.
Well, about 20 people were there. I was the youngest by far. Which goes. I guess I'm kind of used to that being part of the poetry community around here too. But that's just how it is. And the essentially kind of the order of operations. It starts off, we have like a chant of kind of our I guess a declaration of an intent, I think, for
Yeah.
to embrace our health, for the good of all sentient beings. And then 30 minutes of sitting in silence, followed by a 5-minute break. And then there was, we read through a little bit of a book that kind of made it like it was a little bit of a book club that we
Hmm.
had in this meeting. But it's different every single time. Sometimes there's speakers that they have, monks from different Buddhist traditions, and yeah, and then ended with another 5-minute sit in silence, and then a tailgate at the end where we all had cookies in the parking lot.
Wow. What a fun
Yeah,
time.
right.
That's
It
sitting in
was.
silence. I love that.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. I now realize you were joking. It took me a moment.
I'm not joking. No, no, there are no jokes
Uh,
here, sir.
Gotcha.
I'm being 100%
Okay.
like, no, no, like, yeah, it's kind of funny, but like,
Yeah.
my life is so noisy right now that, like,
Yes.
yeah, to go to a place specifically with other like-minded people to sit in silence so you can think, or perhaps clear your mind, or focus on
Yeah.
something and not be interrupted for 30 whole minutes.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
It was really, really neat. And I'm gonna go back again. One of the things that I've been focusing on a lot lately is, you know, like a lot of the beginning meditation stuff, they say focus on your breath,
Mm-hmm.
out and in. And then if your mind starts wandering, that is okay, because that's what your mind does.
Bring
And
it
the
back.
real, yeah, just begin again. And that
Mm-hmm.
it's that process of beginning again and having which is the thing that is training your attention
That's the
and is
work.
making you,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the work. And that, whereas kind of, I think, early on in my walk here, you can't beat yourself up over it, like, oh man, I'm not really good at this meditation stuff. It's like, no, the fact that you noticed it and came back, that is what it is. It's like doing reps at a gym,
Yeah.
like, so
You're not going to see gains in one day.
right.
You have to keep at it. Yeah,
It's a practice.
there was a point in my early life that I was doing daily morning meditations,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, this was back when I was living in Oxnard
Okay.
with with my buddy Mike. Um,
What's up,
and
Mike?
what's up, Mike? It doesn't live in California anymore. He lives in,
Oh.
where does he live? Kentucky, Tennessee, somewhere over there. Anyways, he'd leave for work, and so then our 1 bedroom apartment would be quiet, and I would sit and do like a 15 to 20 minute meditation, just sitting in silence and going over, the things that I had read in my different books about, what you're supposed to be doing when you're meditating. And it was a really good practice, and it does help with your attention and focus and concentration, just because that's the muscle that you're working, that focus. And
Yeah.
if you can truly focus on nothing, it feels so good.
Well, I think that one thing that I've been focusing on lately, as opposed to the breath, is the sight field that exists when you have your eyes closed.
Okay, I got
Right?
you. Yeah.
That the fact that, like, you close your eyes and at first you think you're seeing nothing. But that's not true. You see the interplay of light and shadow that's behind your eyelids. You look deeper, and sometimes there are patterns that emerge. And
Oh,
it can be,
that's cancer. If you're seeing patterns.
oh no.
Just kidding.
Oh no, now I'm self-conscious, but no, I'm like,
No, no, complete
anyhow,
joke. Complete
it's,
joke.
yeah, but it's kind of a fascinating
uh, it's neat, playing around with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyhow, it was really nice. Steven, if you ever want to come with me, man, like I'm sure that they'd love to have another youngin
Oh, I'm so young.
join.
When we're the young ones,
Yep.
oh man.
Yeah.
I'll bring
But
my
I
I'll bring my
mean,
youngest child and be like, guess what we're gonna do? And she's gonna be like, what? Like, we're gonna sit still for half an hour. And she's gonna be like, no, like there's cookies after. And she'll be like, I'll try, but no promises. Can I bring my iPad and my headphones just in case?
the
Uh,
I think it was interesting to so a large part of the discussion really centered around how we come to grips with what is happening in Minnesota and Minneapolis right now.
yeah.
And something that came up in the reading was this idea that, like, how they talk about the tyranny of choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, when you think about that term, it's like, okay, well, you've got so many things to choose from. Sometimes you what that is like actually bondage of a way. It is the opposite of freedom. Like, sometimes true freedom is having many less choices in a strange way,
Mm-hmm.
because you know the direction you need to go. That's it. And you find your freedom through that. Um, it occurred to me when thinking about that perhaps us as modern 21st century people that are observing world events far away from us, that we have very little that we can do, but we have a lot of options about what we can do, right? Like, we could donate to different organizations that are keeping people safe. We
Mm-hmm.
could go out to Minneapolis and be there if we wanted to, if we felt compelled. Um, but the people in Minneapolis, they have very few choices. They could show up and protest. They could hide. And there's not very many things. But the question that I have is, are we or they suffering more because they have less options? They have directions that they can go. They have realistic, like if something good, if they're doing something, they can see in real time what good their works are doing in a way that we can't, being far away, you know?
Are you saying that we're suffering more than they are?
I'm not saying that it's some kind of competition, but I'm saying that
Right.
there is a potential that we could be suffering more than they are because of the vicious news cycle, because of the feelings of helplessness
Oh,
and
okay.
inability,
Okay. Yeah,
on
because
behalf of others
we cannot
to,
do anything. Me and you, are physically too far away,
right,
perhaps monetarily and time too far away. So does that mean that we suffer more because we want to help and we can't figure out how to
yes,
do it?
yeah, that's
Whereas
kind of
they
that,
have no choice. They either go out and stand up for their freedoms and their rights, or they do nothing and let
right,
themselves be trampled over. Those are their only choices.
right,
I see what you're saying.
yeah. And it's an interesting, I don't know if thought experiment is the right way to put it, but it's something that occurred to me um, through talking this morning,
Yeah.
talking it all out.
It's,
And
we're in a tough spot, um, in many different ways, on a less important in a less important way. Yeah, we look at the news and we go, this is awful, and we look around and those awful things aren't happening directly around us where we could affect change, immediate change, right? Like, we're still voting in the ways that we need to vote for people's freedoms and whatnots. Um, but it's like that feeling of, like, I want to help but I can't, like, that will, you can internalize that trauma. um, the of opening up your Instagram and thinking, I'm gonna scroll through some nonsense, let my brain turn off for a minute, and then you see an American citizen executed by another American citizen, and you go,
Yeah.
what is happening, and what can you do in that moment, right? In that moment, there's nothing, and so it goes inside, and you hold on to it. And Martine was actually telling me she was reading this thing via a psychologist, just like how you immediately, a lot of us are internalizing this trauma of these things that we're seeing, and it's important that you find an outlet for it. Otherwise, it stays in there, even if it's just like the other day. I was driving through town, our little town, and there was one old lady walking down the street, holding up a sign, big pink, like that neon pink poster board that you see, and it just said, what did it say? I think it just said like no ice or something, or it was just like ice, a big circle, just something, right? And just seeing that made me feel better. Like we're not alone, right?
Yeah.
There's more of us than there are of them.
Yeah.
And so like finding that little bit, even if you're feeling awful and depressed and terrible, make a little sign, go walk around your neighborhood with it. You'll feel better, and you will be making others feel better. Because what else can we do? We're doing the American thing. We're protesting and saying, no, this is not how we want to live. That's how this country started. Like it's in our nature to be like, oh, you want it to be that way? No, all of us, the commoners, the peasants, the workers, the everyone, say no, and we're gonna say no in a peaceful manner. But man, that peaceful manner we are on a razor's edge right now. It feels like.
Yeah. So
anyways,
anyhow, this was an attempt to find a little bit of equanimity and community, right? Because community that's the way that we combat this, right? We're looking at all this stuff online, and we're doing that in one-off. Like we're alone in that. Like it's not real community, right?
No, definitely not.
And it's a bunch of stuff that, for good or for ill, is being presented to us outside of context. It's being presented to us as in machine gun staccato. This it's really not built for our brains and our hearts to have a healthy relationship with, right?
No, definitely not. There's science to back that up. Social media is not good for you.
Right.
We like I'll see a post every now and then, of course, on social media. That's like, if you can't handle what's going on in the world today, like, don't worry. Our brains were built to live in a cave and eat berries. Like, you're doing okay.
Yeah.
Like, this is a lot very quickly. Like, our childhoods were so drastically different just because of what technology hadn't existed yet. We're in undiscovered country here, man. What other Star Trek words are we?
It's the final frontier.
This is surely the final frontier.
This is the wrath of Khan, no doubt.
I mean, have you seen a better original motion picture than this? All right, let's pull it back. The other day I was of course playing a role playing game, playing my weekly D&D session, and someone we were chit chatting, and then someone threw in some real life in there, and I was like, hold on, like, I get it, we're all on the same page here, but I'm here to make dumb jokes and roll math rocks and be silly. And he was like, dude, 100%, I'm sorry I brought it up, like, we're all in the same boat, and let's just be silly and have fun. That's what we did, and we're all on the same page. And so perhaps this podcast is that for others. So yes, the news is important. We are there when we can, and in spirit when we can't. But let's move on to some future or now.
Now. Steven, it's funny that you're saying that.
Let's talk about silly comic books. Aren't comic books fun and for kids?
Yeah, let's talk about comic books and white supremacy. Because
So close. We were
because
so close.
we were really close. We almost got there, Steven. But no, what I'm bringing this week. I'm gonna just go out on a limb and let everybody know. Like, I'm gonna speak for you and Devin right now to just
Sure.
say that, like, this podcast, we are against fascism. We are against white supremacists. We are not about all that. And guess who also isn't about white supremacists? Batman and Superman.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Stephen, can you tell me a little bit about Absolute Batman? Because you sent me a video on Instagram about a month or two ago, and I was like, wow. Tell me a little bit about Absolute Batman and his fight against white supremacists.
Okay, so Absolute Batman, I don't know as much about it as I wish I did. It is a version of Batman whose, I believe his father's still alive, but his mother was the one that was murdered. Anyway, this version of Batman is like the hardcore version of Batman that he doesn't necessarily kill, but he will maim you forever. It's a the style of book is very metal.
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, sure. Metal. It reminded me a lot of like Metalocalypse, of just how brutal things are. Like it almost in a silly way, but not quite. More of in a like, yeah, you know, like you. There's a good metal riff behind everything he does. Now, if I got that wrong, please, sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com. The only thing I really know about Absolute Batman is what was in this one comic book that I went to a comic book store and purchased because I had seen about it on an Instagram post and shared it. And I was like, I need to just get this comic. And I did, and I have it, and I read it, and it's amazing. And it is essentially Batman. Let's see. How do we go about this? He's trying to casually help, like, as Bruce Wayne, and not rich Bruce Wayne, but like drives the pickup truck Bruce Wayne. I'm not sure if that's like how he always is, or if that was like a costume or a disguise. I don't know if that was a disguise or what that was. But he goes somewhere to help, and it's like, it's one of those things where like you're chatting with somebody and they say something and you go, oh, you're a racist because of what you just said. And like something like that happens. Look, it's been a while since I read it. You read it more recently, so perhaps you should be talking about this part.
So, I mean, I've only seen the Instagram reel.
You haven't read it yet?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Oh.
This is all preamble to what I have read.
I'm looking. Where did I put that comic book?
So,
I know I've got it
so
nearby.
what I understand is that he decides to go on a one-man destruction spree against white supremacists.
I've got the issue. I just found it. I'm opening it up. I have it in plastic because I'm gonna save it forever. Yeah. Okay. Absolute Batman. Let's see. Who's this written by? Johnson.
Which issue?
Annual number 1, 2025.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm scrolling through it. They have he punches him right in the face. Some people are getting kicked out of where they're living by 3 bad guys that are clearly wearing pig masks. And this is not a subtle comic book.
No.
And Bruce Wayne walks in and just destroys them. But then their buddies come together and they end up like knocking him out. And the friendly nearby pastor saves him, pulls him from harm, and then he goes out and sees that there's some kind of meeting going on. He's brought a bat with him, it looks like, with barbed wire. And then like the police show up and it's like, oh, good, the police are here. And they come out and they put on the masks as well. And it's like, oh, okay. And
Mhm.
right when the leader of this group puts his hand up to say white P word, and he gets half the word out, and then there's Batman just snaps his elbow. and
Mhm.
the rest, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. The next 11 pages are him beating the absolute snot out of this group of white supremacists that were about to do something really, really bad. And it's great.
Yeah.
It is
And and
absolutely
and
great.
and he finds the house that the white supremacists live in or meet in, and he starts to torch it and burn it down. And someone turns to Batman and says, "What are you doing? We're people." And he says, "No, you're roaches."
Oh, yeah. That's a good line.
So so I saw that, thank you for sharing that Instagram reel to me.
Yes.
And I, with thinking about that, I showed up at my local library and I saw on the shelf Superman Smashes the Klan.
Beautiful.
Now, now, Stephen, you're more of a Batman guy.
Yes.
I'm more of a Superman guy,
Yeah.
right? That's, and so I was like, this looks pretty kid friendly. Like I'm more about this right now, like uh, as much as that like metal feeling is.
Mm-hmm.
Superman Smashes the Klan is a story that takes place in 1946, and it's sort of an adaptation of a radio serial, Superman Exposed Ku Klux, or I'm sorry, no, sorry, Clan of the Fiery Cross, which was a radio serial from Adventures of Superman, which ran from June to July 1946. And so this is kind of an adaptation of that story,
Mm-hmm.
written by Jean Luen Yang, who was the #1 New York Times bestselling author of American Born Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And the basic gist of it is the year is 1946. Teenagers Roberta and Tommy Lee just moved with their parents from Chinatown to the center of Metropolis. Tommy makes friends quickly while Roberta pines for home. Then one night, the family awakens to find their house surrounded by the clan of the Fiery Cross. They are burning a cross on their front lawn. Superman leaps into action, but his exposure to a mysterious green rock has left him weak. Can Roberta and Tommy help him smash the clan? The answer is yes. Yes, they can, and they do. Um, it's a really fascinating story for a lot of different reasons. In one case, the basic gist of this is it's a Superman before he or the world really know what his powers are and who he is. They still
Okay.
think they still think that Superman is just somebody that like drank a super serum or has been training with mystics, and that's how he has these powers. Um, he doesn't fly. He leaps onto the tops of telephone wires and runs down the street that way.
Oh,
That's how he gets around.
that's funny. Well, and
Yeah.
of course, Superman originally didn't fly. He could leap tall
Right.
buildings in a single bound, but he didn't fly. That
Yes.
came later. But
Right.
yeah, yeah.
Except that it was because he was in this story, it's because he's learning more about himself.
Oh,
Right.
perfect. Okay.
And so as a kid, he had accidentally flew and shoot lasers out of his eyes in order to protect himself and his friends from bullies.
Mm-hmm.
And he was labeled a warlock and was nearly run out of Smallville for it. But yeah, so there's that. Like that's an interesting portion of it. At one point, one of the clan members looks up at Superman and says, like, why are you fighting us? You are the perfect embodiment of everything we stand for. You're a white man with all these powers.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman looks at him, and it's at that point where he makes it known to the entire world that Superman is an immigrant. He is an alien from outer space, and that is how he has his powers.
Ah, okay.
Right. So there's that sort of thing. But then there's also one of the one of the middle management of the clan shows up at his, to his boss, and is like, hey, I'm here, and just letting you know that we're still going for the one race, one color, one religion, like, let's go. And the boss is like, you actually believe that?
Hmm.
Like, uh, I'm here to collect the dues from our membership. That's all this is about. And we're like and that's the only reason why we're doing all this hatred, is because, well, it's about money. Like, and
Stop looking left or right. Start looking up and down. Have you heard that term lately?
no.
Like, stop looking left or right as in politics. Start looking up or down as in who has the money and who doesn't.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah. Anyways.
yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, well, I mean, so the story is a bit more nuanced than Absolute Batman.
Yeah, absolute Batman's like, what? The moral of that story is punch a Nazi, and it's
Right.
okay. They deserve it.
Yeah.
That was the moral of his story.
Yeah, mind you, there's plenty of punching punching clan members in this, but it also is about, well, how do you stand up to people who look at you and they expect that you're one thing when really you are you, and you deserve to be here,
We all deserve to be here.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the challenges with just standing aside and letting bigotry happen. The clan is the clan of the whatever cross, the fiery cross. They're not called the Ku Klux Klan in there, but they are just like the Ku Klux Klan. They're just bigots in bed sheets, and you stand up to them. And you'll find out exactly how much power they have, which is far less than they will boast.
Mm-hmm. There's other, like, we're gonna keep talking about this. The way that pop culture and the media have been. Okay, let me quickly reorganize my thoughts here.
Sure.
There was a quote I saw online recently. I don't know the attribute, and I'm not going to say it exact, but the feeling of it was, hey, we've all grown up. When we watched Star Wars, we sided with the rebels. When we watched Hunger Games, we sided with the rebels. When we watch, and they named off like a bunch of these. They're like, look around you now. We need to draw the conclusions, please. Like, we've been, this is how it always, how could you think any other way was okay?
Yeah.
There are people in masks doing bad things in the streets. You guys remember the stormtroopers, right? The people in masks that would run around and terrorize people. There's a bunch of it in pop culture. It's like every freaking story has that in it. Here's something else. About a week ago, Disney posted. Yes, I'm going to take it back to Disneyland. That's all I know how to talk about, apparently.
And anybody who has another opinion about Disneyland is wrong.
You're the wrong. Only I'm right on this podcast.
Oh, great. Person who visits a Disneyland more than once a year. Please inform me.
I shall give you my wisdom now. About a week ago on Threads, the official Disney account posted, share a hashtag Disney quote that sums up how you're feeling right now.
Okay.
One of them is a screenshot from Pocahontas, and it says, these white men are dangerous.
Yeah.
There's one from The Hunchback in Notre Dame where the bad guy, I forget his name, is saying silence, and the woman is raising up her hand and saying justice. Well, there's one from The Little Mermaid where Sebastian is saying the human world is a mess. And it's good. One from Toy Story 3 where the Barbie says authority should derive from consent of the governed, not from the threat of force. That's a good one. Thank you, Disney.
Yeah.
The one from Robin Hood with the little bunny kid saying death to tyrants. I love that one to death. the quote from I believe it was episode 3. So this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. And finally, a screenshot from an Indiana Jones movie that says Nazis. I hate these guys. There's more, but that's the gist of it. And that's what I mean by these things, this pop culture, that they've been telling these stories to us as fables for years, as warnings, as, hey, we did this once, let's never do that again, and people stop paying attention. So it's there. Check. I mean, not that post. They swiftly deleted that post after they saw what people were doing, rightfully so. Not rightfully so that they took down the post. Grow a spine, Disney. Pick a side. And that's the problem. These are businesses, not people, right? They don't.
Yep.
Their morality lies with the up and down. Are they making money or not?
Yeah.
So we can't look to businesses and corporations to save us. That way lies folly. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do my future now because we're running out of time.
And I don't need to do my second comic book. I can talk about that another time, I think.
Maybe at the break that we're about to take.
Yeah,
we'll see.
All right, sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, so we're gonna take ourselves a little break now. I know we're already close to an hour in. We didn't talk, we're gonna do book club, right? The video thing, even though Devin's not here. Yeah, we'll still do it.
Heck yeah. I mean, I still would love to hear what Devin thinks of it. However, I was really wanting to hear what you think about it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously, as the czar of this podcast,
it's a time travel story, and I know you geek out about time travel stories, Stephen. I picked this one for you.
Oh, it was for me. Oh, you're so kind.
Yeah.
So if you haven't yet, there's a link in the show notes to a YouTube video titled "Likewise Olive" from Omelette O. How do you say? Amaletto, maybe.
Yeah,
that sounds right. And so watch that. And there's nothing to read this week. It's fine. Go watch that. It's really good. And we're going to talk about it when we come back. So we'll be right back. You ever notice how everyone in sci-fi movies has a secret society they belong to? The Jedi, the Bene Gesserit, the Illuminati, or whatever? Well, guess what? So do we. It's called our Patreon, and if you join at patreon.com/sciencefactionpodcast, you'll get access to exclusive content, our Discord, and knowledge that normal listeners will never understand. Join us, or remain in the dark. Your call. And we're back.
Hello, and a big thank you to our patrons, Josh, Renee. Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And hey, Josh, thanks for coming out and playing some VR golf with us. It's always a lot of fun.
Dude, for sure. Yeah. Sorry, Stephen couldn't talk.
Yeah, sorry I couldn't say anything. If I could have talked, I would have said a bunch of nonsense. So don't worry about it. It's probably best that I couldn't talk.
Save that for the podcast.
Save that for you want to hear me talk? Listen to my podcast. You don't want to hear me talk? Invite me to play VR golf with you. My headset, for whatever reason, the mic is either broken or the settings keep changing in some obscure way that I can't figure out. So yeah, that's a bummer. But played a couple of holes. It was that part was fun. Listening to you guys was fun. Sometimes.
Fun in the sometimes.
Fun at the sometimes. That's an old joke. Let's get
what are we reading next week? Stephen?
Next week we're going to read The Song of a Non-Human Intelligence by Michal Garcia. And let's see, despite the barriers between different cetacean languages, our song crosses the vastness of the oceans, and so forth. That's what we're going to read. It's on strangehorizons.com. There's a link in the show notes to read that for next week. And it's going to be, I don't know how it's going to be. Sounds like it's going to be cool, but who knows?
Yeah.
Sometimes they sound cool and they're stinkers. I don't know.
It's from Strange Horizons, and I've liked almost everything that we've covered from that publication. So
yeah, there you go.
This
week at least we didn't have to read anything this week, which was kind of fun.
Yeah, no, I picked this one to give us a little bit of a week off. Like if you're okay with watching a 16-minute or so video on YouTube that's a dramatic presentation, then Likewise Olive is for you, my friends. So, Stephen, I'm really glad you didn't bury the lead. I want to know what you thought of it, and you already said is really good, and I agree.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Right on.
So, time travel.
Time travel.
So I have a soft spot for time travel stories. Probably started in Back to the Future days. The best time travel story. So what's a close second? What's a really good second place time travel story?
I mean, like I know that a lot of people probably don't like this so much. It's not universally regarded, but Looper.
I was trying to think of that title, and I was like the one with Bruce Willis, and then that little boy that they put makeup on his face to make him look like a young Bruce Willis. That movie,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. Yeah. Looper, which Looper is a great story as well, but it also follows Back to the Future time travel logic, which is nonsense.
Yeah,
but it makes for better storytelling, less sciencey, way more fictiony, and that's okay.
Yeah. Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home with the whales.
That is the worst one. You're right. But let's talk about the good ones. Zing! I gotcha. No, that's good.
Likewise Olive. Yeah. Likewise Olive. It starts off, and there's a daughter and her father. Mm-hmm. They're standing outside of some kind of facility, and they are
sitting.
They're sitting. Yeah, and they're just kind of the daughter's eating olives, and they're talking about the experience that he's about to have. Yeah. That the father's going to have. His name's Charlie. Charlie is here, and you learn through the course of the of the story that he's at this facility because he's there to have an experience that involves time travel. He has picked an emotionally resonant date whereby he's going to travel back in time, pretend to be someone else, and meet his parents when they're on a date and just have a chat with them. And
the part of this that I really enjoyed was picking the important plot bits in a casual conversation. They don't come out and say, we're at time travel house, and when you go inside time travel house, you see your parents. Like, that's not what this is.
Right.
It's like you said, a father and a daughter having a conversation about this thing that's going to happen. And it feels almost ominous. There's like a certain weight of importance behind it. And I think that's why the next scene, that's like the first scene is that outside on the bench talking about it scene. The next scene is before his experience. They're like, before you go in there, and it's the time travel is like he walks through a door and then he walks out a door and he's in a different time. Like, that's not what this is about. But
no special effects.
No, you're not going 88 miles per hour. There's no phone booths. It's just going through a door.
Yeah. Tremendously effective, by the way, though.
Yeah.
Like, exactly what's happening despite not having any flash, whiz, bang, anything.
Yeah.
No not even like particles. Literally no special effects in this entire story.
So they say, before you walk through that door and have your experience, just chill in this room for a while and think about it and like make sure this is really what you want to do.
Yeah, this is kind of your last chance to duck out gracefully, but know that if you do, you're going to lose. You're going to need to go back into the lottery for getting a chance to have this experience.
Yeah, there's some really subtle storytelling, and that's one of them. Is that like millions of people want to do this and they can't accommodate that, and so you're kind of picked at random.
He gets into the waiting room, and there's someone already standing in there. It's an older woman, a woman that's older than he is, and he says, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude." And she goes, "It's okay, I can wait. I don't mind sharing a room to wait for my experience."
Yeah.
And so they sit down, they start playing chess. He and this woman that he's sharing the waiting room with, and he's talking about how he and his daughter often play chess, and he never lets her win. Like he's just uh he like why would he, and then gives some stories, like some background on how he adopted his daughter, and how he calls her Olive because when he first met her she dropped a jar of olives and it got like olive juice all over his pants, and his mom was named Olive, and all this sort of stuff, and she's just listening to him going like, well, you must love your daughter.
Well, the way
And
he's saying it too feels like he's rambling because he's nervous about what he's about to do.
yeah,
That's the sense I
yeah.
got, that like he's in this high stressful kind of situation. He ends up chit chatting with somebody and just kind of trauma dumping on them almost. Like he doesn't really let her get a word in edgewise, for a bit.
Yeah.
Are we in spoiler territory yet?
No, I mean, I
Not
think we
yet.
still got it. Yeah,
Okay,
I think we can kind of come back to
we'll come
spoilers
back.
when,
Yeah.
like when it's revealed what's going on. But the general, so they're playing chess, and then it comes time for him to have his experience. So he gets up and he goes and he finds his way into, walks through a door, and he's now in a bar. And he had been told, like leading up to this, that there are certain phrases that he can use that are safe, that you let the like, I guess there's going to be an opportunity he's going to have to interact with them, that they'll with his parents, that they're going to set up, and to we'll keep an eye out for it and follow along. But his name is not going to be Charlie, his name is going to be John.
Mm-hmm.
And because they want to preserve the timeline as best as possible. And so sure enough, his chance comes up. He gets delivered the wrong drink. He didn't order a martini with olives in it. He ordered a Merlot, but a martini with olives comes by, and his mom, who doesn't recognize him, shouts, "Hey, I think that one's mine." So he brings over the glass, and they sit, and he talks with his mom and his dad as they're out on a date.
Yeah. And
And
it's really nice.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
there's a bit of a montage, if I remember correctly, of like you don't really know what they're talking about, but they're having a good time. They're
yeah. And
asking each other's questions, and it's all very
and
casual and fun.
they're telling him stories about their son Charlie,
Yeah,
and about how
which is
he hates olives, you know.
yeah. Yep.
And and then they're the mom, looks at her watch and goes, "Oh my gosh, we've been talking for an hour. We got to get home, relieve
Babysitter.
the babysitter," and so um one of the safe, like he goes through the entire safe stuff with, of just like, "Oh, hey, what one of the safe words is just to say likewise." And like, "Hey, it was nice to meet you, likewise."
One of
um
if I remember correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the
sure.
reasons for that they stated is that they don't want you to be remembered by them. And like,
Right.
so they don't want you to make
Yeah.
like determinative statements, I want to say, or like you want to be like, oh yeah, I talked to some guy at a bar once, but like not remember the specifics. So you don't want to screw up the time travel aspects of
Yeah.
it. Like, hey, so Lorraine, there was this guy that you kind of fell in love with named Marty, but then he kind of disappeared, and then you decided to name your son Marty. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, so it's
Right.
supposed to not allow those kinds of things. So
Yeah.
if I remember, one of the rules was like, don't say goodbye. Wait until the situation resolves naturally, and they say goodbye, and then you say likewise, or what you just kind of be agreeable and disappear. And so that's
Yeah.
what he does.
That's what he does, and he's visibly really, like, not shaken, but he got what he was looking for out of that conversation,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and he comes back to his own time, walks through the lobby, and is about to exit the room, but the old woman is still there, and she goes, "Hey, you forgot your jacket."
Yeah.
and he turns around, grabs his jacket and says, "Hey, it was really nice meeting you." And she looks at him and says, "Likewise." And he goes, "I never got your name." And she says, "Olive." And at that moment, you suddenly realize this is his daughter as an old woman meeting him during her uh, her experience,
Mhm.
and not a dry eye in the house. Like I just thinking about it, I'm starting to tear up. And I've watched it twice or three times now, and like every time it's just like, oh man, what incredible mastercraft storytelling. And he realizes it at that moment too, along with you. And he respects the
The process.
the situation that he's in, right? And then he leaves and goes out to meet up with his daughter of his time now, who is in her early 20s.
Yeah.
And that's likewise Olive.
Yeah, it's a fun little dramatic story. The thing I was gonna, when I asked you about the spoilers, because I
Yeah.
was gonna ask you, at what point did you figure it out, if at all?
The first time it was along with him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I did not pick up on really what was. I mean, I was not expecting this to be a time travel story.
Okay.
I just went on Amaretto because I like their videos, and they're oftentimes science fiction based, but they, very low, kind of like low production values in terms, like not a lot of special effects, but like
Right.
high concept,
Still effective.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and very well shot
Hmm.
pieces that they usually have on that channel. And a lot of time travel stories actually on there, now that I'm thinking about what I've seen on that channel.
I mean, if you can be
uh
clever about the time travel itself and kind of establish, look, that's not the important bit. He's going to be in this time, and then they're going to be in that time, and we don't need to get fancy to show the transition. If you enter in with that in mind, then you can do a lot of stuff with time travel.
yeah, but when I first saw it, I also wasn't exactly certain that all of the stories in this are sci-fi. I,
Ah,
I
okay.
think I think they are in Omeletto, just because all the ones I've seen have been. But like I just like, oh hey, you know what? It's late at night. I've got 16 minutes. I'm just gonna watch this, this little dramatic thing. And so I know I kind of prompted you before watching it, letting you know that it was a time travel story.
Yeah, and that
Um,
that didn't ruin it for me, but it did set me up to look and view it in a certain way.
yeah,
Um, when a little bit that you omitted was that he
yeah,
was sketching a picture of a bird on a pamphlet while he's talking to his daughter
yeah,
at the very beginning. And then he goes inside the building and he meets the older woman. And I noticed that she was also holding a pamphlet, but it looked very aged. And I was like,
hmm
oh, I bet that's his daughter. And then as the scene progressed, in the way that she wasn't really giving information, but he was, and she was just kind of listening and appreciating what he was saying, I was like, oh, that's definitely his daughter. Um, and then, at the end, I was like, oh, are they going to confirm it or not? Or is it just going to, like, just kind of go on and have it, be whatever. Then when he comes out and sees her another time, um, they she puts down the pamphlet, and it is like old and aged, and it's the one that he was sketching on. And so that was
yeah.
like
It has his sketch on it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So she held on to it this long and brought it back with her, which that's got to be against the rules, because he just drew that like that. What a mind screw around that would be if he saw that. But I
yeah,
guess he's seeing
yeah,
his daughter. Like, that's funny because she was so clever that she found a way to circumvent the rules while obeying the rules. Like she knew going back there and knowing the talk that he just had with her about like how he's supposed to talk and all that, he would be primed to understand that language. And then she has to say it because she's the one traveling. Yeah. That was a clever bit. I like that.
Yeah. And that inversion of where he thinks that he's the one traveling, but he is actually the experience.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we're all somebody's experience, aren't we?
I'd like to think so.
There's at least 200 people out there right about now that are listening to this at this exact moment that we are their experience.
Oh,
yeah,
Stephen.
That's, we're changing people's lives one dummy at a time. Sorry, listeners, you're not all dummies. I love you.
Likewise,
listeners. Nailed it. That's the title.
Yep, there it is.
So yeah, this was the first time I believe. I might have caught other things on Amuleto, but I think this is the first time I purposefully was directed to go to Amuleto and watch one of their things, and I enjoyed it. So looking forward to checking out more.
There was the one video that I sent to you where it was about the guy who had the time travel box, and he was trying to restart timelines in order to have the perfect conversation.
Oh yeah, that was
with the girl.
More comedic. It was like a 30-second time travel or something.
Yeah.
He kept doing the conversation over and over and over and over.
Right. But then you get to the end of it and you realize that for every one of those times when he presses the button on the box, it's not that he went back in time, it's that his body in that timeline dies. And so it's watching a bunch of her freaking out as he just dies in front of her.
The dude comes over, says something weird to her, and then dies over and over again. I forgot about that. Yeah, okay, so 2 for 2, Amuleto. You're
right?
Batting a billion, whatever it is. Devin would know.
Yeah, man.
So once again, next week is The Song of a Non-Human Intelligence. That's from strangehorizons.com, written by Michael Garcia. Perhaps it's Mical Garcia. It's Mical. I'm not sure the pronunciation on that. There will be a link in the show notes, so check that out for next week. Hopefully, if the weather is better for Devin and his family, he'll be joining us next week. And we'll talk about whatever fresh horrors this week befall upon us.
Yeah, man.
I did ask Devin before, when we were confirming plans for tonight. I asked him if he has any words for our listeners, and to quote Devin, this is a quote. Nope. So that was that
sounds
response.
like Devin.
Yeah, 100%. That was Devin. So in the meanwhile, Ben, do you have any last words for us?
Stephen, I'm not going to go for a happy fun joke. You gave me a gift. You and Martine gave me a gift back, about 13 years ago, of a book called "Rules for My Unborn Son" by Walker Lamond.
Oh,
and I have it here, and there's one thing that I kind of saw today that was like, you know what? Yeah, this is some good life lessons here. Look people in the eye when you thank them, especially waiters.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.